Okay, I'm here with Tom Duggan from the Valley Patriot, who's crossed the line to cover this event with Ovide Lamontagne and Christie. So what made you decide that this was the event to be at today?
Well, love Governor Christie. We're a very conservative newspaper. Loved his speech at the convention. Wanted to come up and see what he had to say since he was so close to where we are. And we've interviewed Ovide Lamontagne a bunch of times. He's going to come on the radio show next week and do another interview. So I kind of wanted to get a preview of where he is in his campaign and what kind of progress he's made, and see what the buzz was going to be today before I do another interview.
What is your feel for this race in New Hampshire? I don't hear the mainstream media talking about it a lot, so I presume it's bad news for these guys.
Right, that should tell you something. If the mainstream media is not covering, that means Ovide Lamontagne's got a really good shot.
Now, obviously, Governor Christie will talk a bit about Mitt Romney. The media, speaking of the mainstream media, they seem to be doom and gloom for Romney, but the internals of a lot of the polls that people are quoting seem to be rather skewed. Do you think this is deliberate? Do you think this is just using the old models, or is this propaganda?
Well, look, the bottom line is, we all know, and I'm in media, and I'm disgraced by my profession, quite frankly. That's one of the reasons I started my own newspaper. The fact is, the mainstream media has been in the tank with the Democrat Party for the last 30 years. It doesn't matter what Mitt Romney does, they're going to try and paint it in a negative way. It doesn't matter what Obama does, they're going to try and paint it in a positive way. And so what I'm really interested in is watching how Governor Christie and Ovide Lamontagne and Mitt Romney try and get around that, how they try and circumvent that, because it's very, very powerful when you've got 90% of the American news media actively working against you and not even trying to hide it.
Now, there's no way I can let you go without asking this question, since we're Massachusetts guys. Of course, today, the news in over the border, within the last 24 hours, we've had Elizabeth Warren without a law license and some Scott Brown people cheering inappropriately. Which one do you think the media is going to be playing up?
Oh, well, look, it doesn't really matter. Elizabeth Warren can walk into a McDonald's and shoot 25 people, and if Scott Brown comes out and says that's a bad thing, they're going to focus on what he said and try and pick it apart. That's just the way the American news media is. What's sad is that it's gotten to such a point where they don't even hide it anymore. It used to be the media was secretly rooting for the Democrats. Now they come out and they openly cheer for them. They've no longer become, they've become no longer an objective arbiter of facts, which is what we're supposed to be in the media. And what they become is they become an arm of the DNC.
And do you think that there's going to be, I like to call it the media credibility day, the day that the media, when they figure they can't change it anymore, starts to report things as they are? Do you think that'll be the week before the election? Do you think it'll be the day before? Or do you think it's not going to even come?
It won't happen at all. I don't think it's going to happen at all in this election. The American news media is so vested in the Democrat Party and in Barack Obama's administration that even 5 minutes before the polls close, they're still going to be propagandizing on TV, on the internet, and in print.
Tom, where can people find your newspaper and stuff online?
Well, we're online. It's valleypatriot.com, and we also have a Facebook page, and we also have a Twitter.
And what's your Twitter account?
It's Tommy Duggan, which is my name.
Okay, if I wasn't following you already, I will be before the end of the day.
All right, good to see you again.